Good afternoon, everyone. This is Dr. Diggs. It's another beautiful day out here in the Pacific Northwest. A little bit cold, though. I'm not going to lie. Winter's coming and Christmas is almost here. Today, we're going to be talking about Golbez hard mode. You're going to be able to see my clear personally on the Pierce comp team. And we're going to talk about some basic strategies and some basic compositions that other people are running. So there are a lot of ways to clear this fight, and there's one way in particular which is the best, and that is of course going to be the light / composition. I don't have Ramza, so the light / composition is actually impossible for me. If you do have Ramza though, and you have access to other light slashing units, you can quite easily break 6.5 to 7,000 for a score, and it is definitely the fastest and easiest way to farm Golbez. So if you have Ramza and you want to run a light / composition, there are a whole compendium of different YouTubers, different content creators who have actually put out videos. In particular, I like AuronnJ's strategy. DesertMaverick also has a very similar strategy, and I would also suggest checking out Hydrex's strategy as well. Those are all great light / composition strategies, and their videos can be found in the description down below. What we're going to be focusing on is a water pierce strategy, which is also pretty popular. And then we're going to talk about some different variations that I've done in order to adjust, right? And in order to test out the different scores that I can get. So first, we're going to go ahead and talk about some basic strategies here. And I'm going to go ahead and just talk about my basic formation here. So we have some very important things for this strategy. The first thing you need is you need a steel time unit. Victoria is recommended because she has a large bonus unit. But if you don't have access to Victoria, you can use Shell as well. Kane is actually not even fully needed in this composition. You could actually completely replace Kane. I would advise, though, bringing some type of slow to the party, right? So the reason Kane is in this party is because he's a bonus unit and because his limit break does have access to slow. Now, one of the things you're going to be noticing here is that Cecil is in the middle. Sorry if you hear my kitten meowing. Giant is sleeping in the other room right now, and I am keeping the noisy kitten with me. You're gonna notice that Vow of Love is on Cecil right here, and that Cecil's position is in the middle. This is very intentional, and I'm gonna talk about why. And there's actually only 2 chainers in this party. It's actually only Glaciella, right? We're gonna be using her triple pierce technique, and Miranda, we're gonna be using her ability Resistance Break. If you didn't know, Miranda does have access to Resistance Break, which is a piercing attack, and it does hit twice, so it is able to build that chain for Glaciella. Without further ado though, let's jump in here and I'll show you the basics of this strategy. This strategy is pretty common all across everything. It was mentioned to me multiple times on stream. I've been using it probably for the last couple days now.
Well then.
One thing you're gonna want in order to optimize your score right in the beginning is you're gonna keep your team right here. And if you're someone who wants to charge forward and attack Golbez after his first move in order to optimize your score, there are strategies to do that. And if you look at Bobthydead's video, he's a mod from my channel. He actually has an ice / composition that is designed to do that while also using Gilgamesh's attack to clear out the skeletons. Now, turn order is very important so that you can line up your steel time, but also remember that the more turns your units take, the more score is taken away from you. So in the beginning here, I could just buff my units and then hit the wait, but you're actually going to see I'm going to move Victoria here and then I'm going to buff her. And the reason I'm going to do that is because when you move a unit and use an ability, it uses up all of their CT. Versus if you don't move and use an ability, it will not use all of their CT. Now, you're going to see Golbez move up here first, and there are some strategies that involve running forward and attacking him. We are actually going to move back, continue buffing. If you do have Kane, If you do have Kayn maxed out and you use Inherited Tyranny, it does give him just enough AP in order to use his Limit Break. So if you guys are utilizing Kayn, and of course we're going to move Miranda here, back here. Pop Haste, I'm going to pop it on Glaciella, because Glaciella is going to be the primary damaging unit. Now, you don't have to have Cecil, but if you have a unit with Vow of Love, move your unit back to this middle position here. The reason this is important is this will draw Golbez in right here, right into the center, so that you can light chain slash him quite easily. Everything's gonna go off here. Again, we're gonna move Victoria and we're gonna buff Victoria. If you do go past this line, the first wave of skeletons will be able to attack you, and that will influence your score, so don't do that. Another good tip here is that if you put Ayaka's TMR on Cecil, he can actually, or sorry, if you sub Monk on Cecil, he can actually take off the poison that's on him. And see how this lined up here where Kayn can use his Limit Break right away? This is exactly what we want. So we're gonna pop his LB here, and basically Kayn is going to be useless the entire round. The sole point of Kayn was so that we could slow Golbez. Now Victoria can keep up with steal time, and if you have a unit who has a little bit less agility for your steal time, this could be the critical strategy to make this really easy for you. We're going to move Miranda right here, and the goal is to have Miranda resistance break upwards, and then we're going to have Glaciella resistance break sideways. Come down here, pop the resistance break, and this is going to be the start of our chain, right? And you get more score for the longer that your chain goes on, and it's elemental. There was no avoiding Kayn getting hit there because we did have to use his Limit Break. Come over here, and we're going to just start popping the normal, right? We're going to start popping Triple Break. We're going to keep it going here. We're going to look at the turn order, right? Now, notice how Victoria is going to go before Golbez. That's good, right? Because she's our steal time unit. But I want to move her. And notice how she moved down. That looks good, right? So that's going to put her further in the order. That means Golbez is going to have more CT, and she's going to be able to steal time from him more effectively. So for those of you that aren't familiar with steal time strategies, this is essentially what it looks like. I'm going to move Cecil. I'm going to use Purification on him. We're going to get rid of that poison. And we're back to Glaciella. Going to pop that Triple Pierce. And this is pretty much how it goes for the rest of the fight. You can see we have Golbez's turn coming up. Going to move Victoria in, because remember we want to keep her moving because we don't need extra turns. Pop the steal time. And we're going to wait. Now, with Kayn, you can do a couple of things. I'm going to move Kayn away, and we're going to go for this eye down here, just because the eye is a bonus unit. So both of the eyes are bonus units, and Kayn's not going to be doing anything else the rest of the fight. So if he can go and hit that bonus unit, that's actually going to be really great and helpful. Continuing to build resistance break chain here. Be able to pop another Triple Break, and y'all can see how this is really going to go through, right? Move Cecil again. We're going to use an ability, right? Because we don't want him... We want him to use all of his CT up so that his turns don't take more. And we're going to look at the turn order. We're going to move Victoria, and then we're going to steal time. And then let's see if we can pop this eye here. It looks like we can. Awesome. We're going to pop the eye with Kayn. All right, and now come down here and you're gonna find a couple strategies here, right? And I could pop a resistance break, and that would of course put him within kill range. However, I'm gonna look at popping Comet or Quicken actually. See when the cast would go off. It's gonna go off kind of in the worst possible time. So what we're actually gonna do is we're going to wait with Miranda. And actually, oh, I fucked this up. You can actually see I put my Victoria in the wrong spot. I should have moved her one over so that Glaciella could attack without worrying. You know, we're actually just going to go, we'll just resistance break it. we'll just resistance break and our overkill won't be super crazy, which is fine. And then we'll move Miranda. And we're actually not going to get the eye kill. It's all messed up now, y'all. That's okay, though. Normally, I would triple pierce him down and then overkill. Oh my gosh, all the animals are whining now. Overkill with her LB here would actually give you a great bonus because overkill is a bonus. This will probably be a pretty subpar run right now for me. I would imagine maybe 4,000. Let's go ahead and see what it pops here. Oh, okay, 5,200. Sorry, I should say maybe 5,000. So I probably could have gotten about 5,400 if I had tried a little bit harder. In particular here, you will see that I could have exploited elemental weakness points or elemental weakness attacks. Of course, this is going to be why Light and Slash is very effective. And my overkill was only 53, so I could have done a lot more with my overkill. I usually average between 5,000 and 5,600 on this map right now with my Pierce composition, and I've been having, you know, a lot of fun doing it. Getting 26 tokens per clear is not the worst, and it's been pretty fun. It's actually fun trying to optimize your team and work with it. Now, I did experiment with a whole bunch of other combinations, right? And one of the other combinations that I actually found where I could clear reliably and get 4,000 is a combination that I haven't actually seen utilized very often, and that is going to be the wind composition. And of course we're going to crash here because, you know, why wouldn't we crash right when I'm trying to show y'all something? But my wind composition primarily focuses on utilizing Lucia, Uldoa, utilizing the limit break from Howlet because it lowers wind resistance, utilizing Uldoa's limit break because it lowers defense of the opponent, and all of this is wind element chaining. And I actually got a reasonable score, about 4,000, as I said before, and I think you can actually clear this with mono elemental teams pretty easily. You're not going to get the best score in the world, but you are going to be able to do it, and you are going to be able to clear it. And I would recommend looking into that if you're someone who thinks this might be pretty hard for you, right? I think there's a lot of people who think the barrier to entry to this one is really high, or this type of an event, and you really need to have the best units and the most optimal units. This is the clear combination that I used for wind element, and I was hitting anywhere between 3.5 to 4.5 thousand. I hadn't had fully optimized it yet. However, this type of a combination would work too. And, you know, a lot of the times you want to exploit the elemental weakness, or you want to chain both element and weapon type in order to get both bonuses from them. So using a wind comp, of course, is not going to be the best, but it's better than just doing nothing, right? Or just kind of rolling over and assuming you're not going to be able to get the spear from this event. There's a lot of different combinations, and I think water is probably the most friendly to free-to-play players. So there are free-to-play video guides I have of water piercing units clearing this. Specifically, they use Ramada, and they also use Tyrell. And so there are guides out there for free-to-play players who maybe are struggling with this, and you need to recognize that 4,000 is actually a reasonably good score, and you can get the +5 spear by spamming 4,000 boss battles. Even if you got like 2,500 or 3,000, you can still get the +5 spear if you apply yourself and farm this rigorously. I think there's this misconception out there right now that, like, you have to clear this event only if you can get a 7,000 score or an 8,000 score. I'm farming it at, 5,400, and that's a reasonable score. It's gonna, I decided not to chase a second spear, but it's pretty good. Now, if you're someone like AuronnJ, who is getting, 6.77 K, or DesertMaverick, because you have Ramsa, they're actually probably gonna farm a second spear, because in the perspective of amount of clears you need, you basically need to clear 50% more or 50% less to get a +5 spear again if you are getting scores that high. So lots to think about here. I hope this video was helpful for all of you guys. And I hope a lot of the guides down below in my description are also helpful. I am still looking for videos to put in the description. We are kind of putting together a compendium of Trials of Reckoning clears. And I'm really interested in clears that are non-contemporary, right? Or non-normal. I have plenty of light slash clears. I have plenty of ice slash clears. I have plenty of water pierce clears. It works, right? You can clear it. So just be aware of that. Before I kind of came to my Golbez Pierce composition clear as well, I was also running actual Pierce chaining. So I was chaining Pierce attacks, and that was also getting me 4,500. So if you can't chain Elemental or Elemental and Weapon type, you can also chain Weapon type as well. If you have a Weapon type that is the same and reliable, Pierce is probably the best one because Golbez is weak to Pierce. However, I'm sure you could probably pull it off if you do have a slash composition as well. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys do get some help out of this video. As always, make sure you use my affiliate link, dig.gs/coins. And you can also go to dig.gs/offer if you are buying Amazon coins in order to purchase Visior. As always, and you can see that kitten is jumping up behind me here. Come check out my Discord. And don't forget to leave a comment and like and subscribe down below. Thank you so much, everyone.